Oh, you want to know how to trademark your brand? My name is Carmel and I'm a trademark attorney here at Imani Law. First step is to do a comprehensive trademark search. And this is where you go into the system to see if there's any other trademark or brand name or slogan or logo that looks similar to yours. This is actually the most important part of the entire trademark process. Because if there's any other brand name in the trademark system that sounds similar to yours or even rhymes with yours or anything that could look confusingly similar to your brand, then the USPTO can later on reject your application, and I'll get to that in just a second. So after you do this comprehensive search, which is going to take you maybe a couple hours to do, or you can hire an attorney to do it for you, you will then begin to figure out which class ID you're in. This part will require some legal strategy because whichever class ID you choose will ultimately be the class that you're the most protected in. The next step is to prepare your application. And if you're already using your brand in commerce, you will need to gather evidence of you actually selling the product. And you will need to include that in the application. After you submit your application, you will have to wait several months until you get assigned to a trademark examining attorney. In other words, an attorney on the other side at the USPTO will be assigned to your file. And that attorney's job now is to do that comprehensive search. Remember the one that you did in the very beginning? And now they're going to go look into the system to see if there's any other brand names that were confusingly similar to yours. And it is in this stage when the trademark examiners will issue what's called an initial refusal, or in other words, an office action. Not every application will get sent an office action, but most of them do, because there's always going to be something wrong with either the application if you filed it yourself without an attorney, or maybe they did find something that was confusingly similar to your brand. And in that case, they are sending in a letter letting you know that they will be rejecting your application. And keep in mind that when they do reject your application, there is no refunds. So you'll be spending money without actually ever getting your registration certificate or ever getting your brand name registered. But the good news is that you have the opportunity to defend your application if you get an initial refusal. This will require you or us as your attorneys to write a brief citing case law, citing facts, doing a whole legal analysis. This will be around maybe 30 pages of just legal analysis, a brief basically, that will be defending you and your mark for this application. And that gets resubmitted back to that same trademark attorney who's on the other side, and then they will decide whether or not to accept it. Maybe they send another office action, or maybe they decide that, you know what, you have a winning argument, and they go ahead and they finally issue you your trademark certificate. This entire process takes almost a year from the time you file until the time you actually get that registration certificate, if you even get that registration certificate in the end. A lot of people mistakenly think that getting a trademark is like getting an LLC. They can just file it, and then in a week, they'll have all their paperwork submitted, and it's all ready to go. The trademarking process is actually more like a legal proceeding like you just saw. There is a lot that happens within that 1 year when you're waiting to get that registration certificate, and there's a lot of legal strategy that is involved. The worst is when we get comments of people saying that they wasted all this money trying to trademark their brand only to not get accepted, only to get a rejection, and they don't get their money back. So if you're somebody who maybe doesn't have the money to invest in an attorney to file your application, you just maybe want to talk strategy for now to try to figure out how to even file it or where to begin, we are offering legal strategy calls, and you can speak directly to me. I will strategize with you on how to get your trademark registered. Because at the end of the day, your brand protection is the most important thing that you could be doing for your business right now if you have a brand. The last thing you want is somebody else to steal it. One last thing, if after the legal strategy call, you decide that you want to move forward with trademarking your brand, we'll deduct that consult call towards the actual trademarking filing fee for you. You can find this link in our bio.